Versatile Denise interchangeable crochet hooks can be used for traditional crochet, Tunisian crochet, or, as we will see today, also for knooking, which is knitting with a crochet hook. Knooking is made possible by having a hook with a hole in the end through which a narrow cord can be threaded. Denise interchangeable crochet hooks, which come in 12 sizes, can be used for a wide variety of knooking projects and with many weights of yarn. Denise knooking cords can be purchased separately if you already have a Denise interchangeable crochet hook kit, or purchase the Love to Knook set by Denise Interchangeable Knitting and Crochet, which comes with 10 hooks and 4 knooking cords. Today we will be learning how to do the knit stitch in knooking. You're going to start with a slip knot. So the way I make a slip knot is I wrap the yarn into a circle and then I pull up a loop, and that's my slip knot. Okay? So to begin, we begin with a traditional crochet chain. So as long as you're familiar with it, we need 10 chains. And if you need to see how it's done, what you're going to do is wrap your yarn over your hook, gently turn your hook down, and go through the stitch. Wrap your yarn over the hook, gently turn your hook down, and go through the stitch. And you see how I'm carefully making sure that all of my stitches are the same size. And I'm just going to yarn over, turn my hook down, and go through that stitch. And we need 10 chains. Yarn over, go through that stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Now for our first row of the knit stitch, what we're going to do is we're going to skip this first chain right here, because this is the one that's actually the loop on our hook, so we don't need to go into this stitch. We're going to start by going into this stitch, and I choose to go into the back bars of my crochet because I like the nice clean look of the flat V stitches. So we're going to start by going in here, keep your yarn in the back. You're going to yarn under for the knit stitch because knitting twists the yarn differently than crochet. So if we were to yarn over, we'd get the wrong twist to our yarn. Alright, so yarn under, pull up your loop. And you're going to leave your loop on your hook. So go into your next chain, yarn under, and pull up a loop. And go into your next chain, and yarn under, and pull up a loop. Alright, so each time, remember, you have to yarn under to pull up the loop. You don't want to yarn over because that will make the wrong stitch. You'll have a funny twist when you try to go in and make your second stitches. Alright, so just keep doing that all the way to the end. Go into your stitch, yarn under, pull up a loop, go into your stitch, yarn under, pull up a loop. And these are very easy to count to make sure you have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we get to slide the yarn off of the hook and onto the cord. Just like that. And this cord is going to act as your second knitting needle, and you're just going to work the stitches back onto your hook, and your cord is your second knitting needle. So for your second row, you want your yarn in the back. And for rows 2 and beyond in the knit stitch, you're actually going to go in a little bit differently. With crochet, you go in from right to left. With knooking, you actually want to go in from left to right. The reason for this is knitting has a different twist to the stitch than crochet does, and if you go in the right to left way, you're going to twist your yarn the wrong way. So you're going to go in from left to right, you're going to yarn under, and you're going to pull up your loop. I'm going to go in from left to right, yarn under, and pull up a loop. And you see I'm not actually twisting everything all the way around to go in from left to right. If you just pull the loop that's on your cord up a little bit, you can easily go in from left to right to do your yarn under and pull up your next loop without having to twist everything all around. Okay? So you go into your stitch from left to right, yarn under, pull up a loop, go into your stitch from left to right, yarn under, pull up a loop, go into your stitch from left to right, yarn under, pull up a loop, and you just keep doing that all the way to the end. And one more, left to right, yarn under, pull up a loop. Now this is the perfect time to count your stitches and make sure you still have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if you didn't, this would be the best time to pull your hook out and start again to make sure that you have 10 stitches, because once we pull this cord out, we no longer have our lifeline. So I have 10 stitches. I'm going to go ahead and pull my cord, and I'll just show you one more row of the knit stitches so you can be familiar with it. Alright, and pull your stitches off your hook and onto your cord. Remember to keep your yarn in back. You're going to go into your first stitch from left to right, yarn under, pull up a loop. You're going to do that all the way across. Go into your stitch, yarn under, pull up a loop, go into your stitch, yarn under, pull up a loop. And remember to yarn under every time, because if you do a yarn over, your stitch is going to be twisted funny. And it's going to be okay for a Knook, for the knit stitch, but once you try to start doing more complicated stitches, you will see that it has a funny twist to it. So you definitely want to get in the habit of doing a yarn under whenever you do the knit stitch when you're nooking. Okay, and one more. Alright, so this is your basic knit stitch. You can already see the garter stitch forming, which is when you do rows of knit stitch on both sides. You can see the row there, and you can see the row there. This swatch that I have here is nearly done. You can see all of my rows of the knit stitch on both sides. Both sides look exactly the same because they are. Alright, and now I'm going to show you how to do a bind off. So what we do, this one has more stitches than the other one did. So we're going to start it out the same way. You want your yarn in the back. You're going to go into the stitch from left to right, just like you always do. Yarn under and pull up a loop. Then you're going to go into the next stitch from left to right, yarn under and pull up a loop. And then you're going to take that the second loop closest to your hook and pull it through the first loop, which is kind of tough, but you can do it. Alright, so then you're going to go into your next stitch, again from left to right, pull up your new loop, and then pull that through the old loop. So go into your stitch from left to right, make sure you yarn under, pull up your loop, and pull it through the other loop. So again, go into your stitch from left to right, yarn under, there's your two loops, and you pull the new loop through the old loop. And what you're making here is a nice finished line of V's so that your top will look the same as your bottom, or the beginning and the end will look the same. Okay? So you're going to go into your stitch from left to right, yarn under, pull up your loop. When you have two loops on the hook, you're just going to pull the one through the other. And you can already see this nice neat row of V's forming here, and they match the nice neat row of V's along the bottom. Okay? So you just keep doing that all the way across. Yarn under, pull up your loop, pull that through the other loop, then yarn under, pull up a loop, pull that through the other loop. And you do this all the way across until you reach the end. And the sample is a little bit bigger, so it's going to be a little bit longer to get to the end. But this way you have a nice finished edge and it's not going to unravel. You won't lose all of your beautiful nooking when you take your cord out. And I like that it looks like the beginning of the crocheted chain because I like that polished finish that it gives. So you're going to just keep on going until you get to the end. A couple more to go. Remember, you yarn under, you pull up your loop, and then you pull it through. And then one more, yarn under, pull up your loop, pull it through. And then you're going to end with a slip knot, slip stitch. So what you're going to do is just wrap your yarn over your hook and pull it through, pull your tail through, and tighten it. Now you can pull your cord out, and you have a nice finished sample. It's beautiful and it looks absolutely just like knitting. Okay, This is Laura Biondi of Black Sheep Crochet for Denise Interchangeables. For more information about Denise products and how to use your Denise interchangeable crochet hooks for knitting needles in a wide variety of ways, go to knitdenise.com.